Do you know someone who has spent their entire life battling bad habits, yet always ends up defeated? Many people struggle with addictions like alcohol, drugs, or challenges like obesity and putting things off. But they keep returning to those same habits days later. You have probably met someone who declared they were going to lose weight. This person started an extremely strict diet, eliminated everything they thought was unhealthy, began running and hitting the gym daily. But days later, when stress arrived and the challenge of juggling family, work, studies, and the diet kicked in, this whole effort collapsed and they returned to old habits, perhaps worse than before. I know this happens all the time, and maybe that person is you. But what if I told you there exists a method combining several philosophies that can help you overcome any bad habit, including struggles like obesity, alcohol addiction, or dealing with procrastination? And the best part, it is an incredibly simple system. This system blends several concepts like Ikigai, Kaizen, HARA HACHI BU, WABI-SABI, and finally, GAMBARU. But I must warn you, this system goes against what many productivity coaches teach about change. It contradicts what motivational speakers try to sell us every single day. And it will require you to do something that seems ridiculously small. So small that you will think it does not work, until it works. Before I show you exactly how this system works, I invite you to like this video and comment on which habit you most want to change in your life. I receive countless comments from people who have applied what is taught here to their lives and have experienced real transformation. And I am grateful to read each piece of feedback. Actually, the idea for this content came from a comment I read where someone asked me for help overcoming obesity. So I created this content focusing more on that challenge, but what I am going to teach here can be applied to any area of your life. Thank you so much for your attention. Now, back to our story. Chapter 1. The day everything changed. Today, I am going to tell you the story of a man I will call Takashi. Takashi had just turned 40 years old, weighed 142 kilograms, and was dying slowly without even realizing it. He was not a bad person. He had worked as a stock manager in a warehouse for 15 years. He woke up at 5 in the morning and got home at 7 in the evening. 2 kids, a wife, bills to pay. The typical working class guy who provides for his family and forgets he has a body. His diet consisted of whatever he had time to eat. Breakfast in the car, lunch at his desk, dinner in front of the television because he was too exhausted to sit at the table with his family. Weekends meant pizza, beer, and the couch. He felt he deserved it. After all, he worked harder than anyone he knew. His body started giving him the first warning signs that something was seriously wrong, but he ignored them all. Climbing stairs left him breathless. Tying his shoes became a massive challenge. He had to sit down, hold his breath, struggle against his own stomach. His children asked him to play tag, and he made up excuses. His wife suggested walks in the park, but he was always too tired. But you know what hurt the most? It was not the numbers on the scale. It was the look in his 7-year-old daughter's eyes when she stopped asking him to play. She had learned that her father did not play anymore. And Takashi saw that look, felt that change, and did nothing because he had already tried to transform before. 3 times he joined a gym and quit after 2 months. He followed a low-carb diet for 3 weeks before giving up. He tried morning runs for 5 days before stopping completely. He had arrived at that dangerous place where most people die without actually dying, the acceptance of defeat. This is just how I am. I have always been heavy. It is my genetics. My metabolism is slow. I do not have time. Until the day his body said enough. It was a Saturday morning. Takashi was in the backyard with his 9-year-old son. Actually, he was not playing with him. He was sitting in a plastic chair watching the boy play with a ball alone. The son kicked the ball far, and it landed in the neighbor's flower bed. "Dad, can you get it for me?" Takashi stood up. He walked to the flower bed. He bent down to pick up the ball, and he could not get back up. Not because he was injured or in pain. He simply did not have the strength in his legs to lift his own body weight. He ended up on all fours in his neighbor's flower bed, sweating, struggling to stand while his 9-year-old son watched in silence. The neighbor had to help him get up. This might sound extreme to you, but believe me, there are people who go through exactly this kind of situation where they cannot perform basic daily tasks anymore. That night, Takashi sat on the edge of his bed and cried. He cried because he was 40 years old and needed help standing up. He cried because his son had witnessed it. He cried because he realized he was creating a memory in that child's mind. My father was weak. His wife walked into the room. She did not say anything at first. She just held him close. Then she whispered, "You need help, Takashi. Real help." The next morning, he called the only friend who had lost weight and actually kept it off. A guy named Marcus who had lost 30 kilos and looked completely different, not just thinner but somehow more whole, more complete. "Marcus, I need help. Did you see a doctor? Did they give you medication? How did you do it?" Marcus paused before answering. "I did see a doctor, yes, but not the kind of doctor you are thinking of. He did not give me medication. He gave me a philosophy. Philosophy does not help you lose weight, Marcus. Takashi, you are wrong." Marcus replied softly. Chapter 2. The Japanese doctor. The following Tuesday, Takashi found himself sitting in a minimalist consultation room that did not look like any doctor's office he had ever seen. No anatomy posters, no hospital smell, just a wooden table, 2 chairs, and a massive window overlooking a peaceful garden. Dr. Kenji Yamamoto entered the room. He appeared to be around 65 years old. Thin build, perfectly straight posture, calm movements. He did not look like a typical doctor. He looked more like a wise monk. "Takashi, tell me what brought you here today." Takashi told him everything. The weight, the exhaustion, the children, the shame, the incident in the flower bed. When he finished speaking, he expected to hear about special diets, exercise programs, blood tests. Dr. Yamamoto did not turn on his computer. He did not pull out any prescription pad. He simply said, "Tell me something. How many times have you tried to lose weight?" 3, maybe 4 times. "And how long did each attempt last?" 2 months at most, usually just a few weeks. Dr. Yamamoto nodded slowly. "Do you know why you failed?" Takashi started listing all the usual reasons. Lack of time, genetics, slow metabolism. The doctor raised his hand gently, interrupting him. "No, you failed because you tried to win a 40-year war in a 2-month battle. Your body took 40 years to reach this weight. Your mind took 40 years to build these habits, and you thought you could undo all of that in just a few weeks." Silence filled the room. "Takashi, I am going to make you a proposition. I am going to ask you to make one change today. A change so small that you will think I am joking with you. So small that it will seem completely pointless. Do you accept?" Takashi was desperate enough to try anything. "I accept." "Excellent. From today onwards, every single day when you wake up, before doing anything else, you are going to drink 1 glass of water. That is all. Just that, 1 glass of water. 1 glass of water every day for 2 weeks, nothing else. You can continue eating pizza, drinking beer, watching television. Just add that 1 glass of water in the morning. Doctor, with all due respect, I need to lose around 50 kilograms. 1 glass of water is not going to do that." "You are absolutely right. 1 glass of water is not going to make you lose 50 kilograms. Dr. Yamamoto leaned forward, his eyes holding Takashi's gaze. "But it will do something far more important. It will prove to you that you can keep a promise to yourself, and that proof is the only thing you really need right now." Takashi left the doctor's office completely confused. He had just paid $200 for a consultation, only to be told to drink water. He felt annoyed, almost angry, but something Dr. Yamamoto said kept echoing in his mind. A promise to yourself. How many promises had he broken to himself? How many Mondays had he sworn he would change, only to quit by Wednesday? If he could not trust himself, how could he possibly transform? That night, he filled a glass with water and left it on his bedside table. The next morning when the alarm rang at 5 in the morning, he saw the glass, he drank it. Simple as that. Day 2, same thing. Day 3, the same. On day 7, something different happened. He woke up before his alarm went off, and his first thought was, "Where is my glass of water?" His brain had started expecting it. On day 14, he returned to Dr. Yamamoto's office. Did you drink water every single day? How do you feel? Honestly, a little silly. I did not lose any weight at all. But I do not know I did it. I actually did something for 2 whole weeks. The doctor smiled warmly. You have just learned the first principle of the Japanese philosophy that will change your life. It is called Kaizen, continuous improvement through microscopic changes. You did not try to climb the entire mountain at once. You just took one step, then another, then another. But doctor, it is just a glass of water. It is not about the glass of water, Takashi. It is about proving to your brain that change is actually possible, that you are not the type of person who gives up. Now tell me, are you ready for the next step? What is it? Keep drinking water in the morning, but now add just one more thing. Put half the amount of food you would normally put on your plate. Just half. You can have seconds if you are still hungry after 20 minutes, but start with half. Takashi sat there quietly. This too seemed way too small to make any difference. But he had been drinking water for 14 days straight. He had proven something to himself. Okay, I will do it. Great. We will talk again in 3 weeks. Chapter 3. The hidden philosophy. What Dr. Yamamoto did not explain in that moment, but which Takashi would gradually discover, was that he was not just changing habits. He was being introduced to a complete philosophical system that the Japanese have used for centuries. Kaizen was just the starting point. Continuous improvement of 1% per day. The idea that you do not need to be perfect tomorrow. You just need to be 1% better than you are today. And if you improve 1% per day for a year, you do not improve by 365%. You improve by 3,778%. The math becomes exponential. One of the secrets behind introducing these small habits is that they are keystone habits. These are habits that, when you implement them, trigger a cascade of positive changes in other areas of your life. They act like a lever or the first domino in a chain reaction. By focusing on improving just that core habit, you start having small wins that almost automatically make it easier to create other good habits. But there were other philosophies at work that Takashi was not yet aware of. The first week with half the food on his plate was brutal. He would finish eating and just stare at the stove, wanting more. His brain was screaming, "You are still hungry, eat more." But then he remembered Dr. Yamamoto's words, "Wait 20 minutes, if you are still hungry, eat more." Do you know how many times in those 3 weeks he went back to eat more after 20 minutes? Twice, just twice, because his body was not actually hungry. It was just used to excess. Dr. Yamamoto was teaching him about HARA HACHI BU without even mentioning the name yet. It is the Okinawan principle of eating until you are 80% full. The idea is that your stomach takes 20 minutes to signal to your brain that it is satisfied. If you fill your plate completely and eat quickly, you go way past that point and only realize it when you have a stomach ache. At the next appointment, Takashi had lost 3 kilograms. It is not about the weight, Dr. Yamamoto said firmly. It is about the direction. You are moving in the right direction. For the first time in 40 years, your body is going where you want it to go. I feel different, Takashi admitted. Not just lighter physically. I feel like I am in control. Because you are in control now, the next step, you are going to add movement, but not in the way you are thinking. No gym, no running. You are going to walk from your front door to your mailbox and back, every single day in the morning, right after your water, before getting in the car for work. Takashi actually laughed. Doctor, the mailbox is only 20 meters from my door. That is not exercise. It is not about exercise. It is about creating the habit of movement. Your body has forgotten that it was made to move. You are going to remind it gently. 20 meters today. Next week, maybe you will want to go to the corner, but today, just to the mailbox. Takashi did what the doctor told him. Water in the morning, half portions on his plate, walk to the mailbox. On the 3rd day of his walk, his 7-year-old daughter saw him leaving the house. "Dad, can I come with you?" They walked together to the mailbox. She held his hand. She talked about school, about her best friend, things she never told him before because her father was always too tired to really listen. When they got back, she asked, "Can we do this every day?" The following week, Takashi started walking to the corner store. Not because the doctor told him to, but because his daughter wanted to join him. And for the first time in years, he made it there and back without being out of breath, without his back hurting. He could actually do it. By the end of the second month, he had lost 8 kilograms, but the real change was not on the scale. It was when he looked in the mirror, not at the body he saw, but at his eyes. There was a light there that had not been there before. During that consultation, Dr. Yamamoto asked him, "Takashi, tell me something. Why are you doing all this? To lose weight? No. Why are you really doing this? What is the deeper reason?" Takashi thought about it, really thought about it for the first time. "I want to see my children grow up. I want to walk my daughter down the aisle someday. I want to have quality time with my wife. I want to feel worthy of myself." Dr. Yamamoto nodded with deep understanding. "That is your Ikigai, your reason for living. The Japanese believe that everyone has an Ikigai, a purpose. Your Ikigai is not about losing weight. It is about being present for your family. The weight is just the obstacle standing between you and your purpose." That changed everything for Takashi, because now, when he did not want to wake up early, he did not think about water or dieting. He thought about his daughter holding his hand. When he wanted to fill his plate completely, he did not think about calories. He thought about walking her down the aisle one day. Purpose is not motivation. Motivation fades away quickly. Purpose is fuel that never runs out. Chapter 4, the first fall 3 months later, Takashi had lost 14 kilograms. His clothes were starting to feel loose. Coworkers kept asking what he was doing. Just a few small adjustments. He would reply, but then came Thanksgiving. You know how it is. A table overflowing with food. Turkey, mashed potatoes, pumpkin pie, pecan pie. The entire family gathered around, everyone serving themselves enormous plates, and Takashi tried to put just half on his plate. His mother asked, "Is that all? Are you sick or something?" His brother-in-law said, "Dude, it is Thanksgiving. Forget the diet for one day." Social pressure is a silent killer of change. Everyone wants you to go back to being who you were because your transformation makes them uncomfortable about who they are. Takashi gave in. He filled his plate completely. He ate until he could not eat anymore. He felt that horrible sensation of being way too full, of having completely failed. That night, he looked in the mirror and thought, "I broke the streak. I am going to give up just like I always do." The next morning, he did not want to drink water. He did not want to walk. The old pattern was returning, the one that says, "Since I already failed, I might as well give up completely." But then he remembered something Dr. Yamamoto had said that he had not understood at the time. You will fail, and when that happens, you will discover if you have truly changed. He picked up his phone and texted the doctor, "Doctor, I ate way too much yesterday. I ruined everything. I do not know if I can keep going." The reply came back in 2 minutes. "Come to the office this afternoon." Takashi sat in his usual chair, expecting either a lecture or a motivational speech. Dr. Yamamoto walked in, sat down, and simply said, "Tell me what happened." Takashi explained everything. Thanksgiving, the pressure from family, the failure, the urge to quit completely. "And did you drink water this morning?" "No." "Did you walk?" Yes, I walked." "Then you did not fail. You stumbled." There is a huge difference between stumbling and falling. When you stumble, you lose your balance for just a second. When you fall, you stop moving completely. The doctor leaned forward. "Takashi, I am going to teach you about WABI-SABI right now. It is a Japanese philosophy that celebrates imperfection. The idea that nothing is permanent, nothing is perfect, and nothing is complete. And that this imperfection is where true beauty actually exists. You ate too much one day, so what? That does not erase 14 kilograms lost. It does not erase 3 months of waking up early and drinking water. It does not erase those walks with your daughter. One imperfect day does not destroy a perfect journey. Takashi felt something breaking inside him. Not himself breaking down. The expectation of perfection shattering into pieces. But what if I overeat again? You will, multiple times, and every single time it happens, you will wake up the next day and drink your water. Because this practice is not about never failing. It is about always returning. This changed everything for Takashi because for the first time in his life, he was not trying to be perfect. He was trying to be consistent, and consistency accepts imperfection. Perfection rejects reality. Now, Dr. Yamamoto continued, I am going to teach you about Ganbaru, perseverance, the ability to endure even when things are difficult. You showed Ganbaru today. You overate yesterday. You did not want to continue today, but you drank water and walked anyway. That is Ganbaru. Enduring discomfort, because you know it is temporary. In the following months, Takashi slipped up several times. At Christmas, he overate. On his son's birthday, he ate too much cake. On a stressful weekend, he went back to pizza and beer. But every single time he stumbled, he came back. Water in the morning, half portions on the plate, daily walk. And something incredible happened. The falls started becoming smaller, less frequent, because each time he returned, his brain was learning. Oh, we do not give up anymore. We just keep going. By the 6th month, he had lost 23 kilograms, but the real transformation was not in the weight loss. It was the moment he went downstairs to play with building blocks with his son, and then stood up on his own, effortlessly, without even thinking about it. It was the night his wife suggested a walk after dinner, and he said yes without any hesitation. It was that Saturday when his daughter asked to play tag, and he chased her around the yard, laughing, sweating, fully alive. His wife watched from the kitchen window and smiled because the man she had married was coming back. Not just his body, but his essence, his spirit. Chapter 5. The question that changes everything by the 9th month. Takashi had lost 35 kilograms. He was not just walking to the corner anymore. He was walking 30 minutes every single day. He was no longer putting half on his plate out of discipline. He was doing it because his body simply did not want that much food anymore. But something deeper had changed. He had become a different person entirely. During that month's consultation, Dr. Yamamoto asked, Takashi, when was the last time you thought about giving up? Takashi paused. When was it? Last week, last month. He genuinely could not remember. I do not know. It has been a while. Do you know why? Because you stopped trying to change and started living differently. It is no longer about effort. It is about identity. You are no longer a heavy guy trying to lose weight. You are a guy who takes care of himself. That is the difference between temporary change and permanent transformation. The doctor pulled out a piece of paper and drew 5 connected circles. Everything I have taught you in these 9 months can be summarized in these 5 philosophies. He pointed to each one. Ikigai, you discovered your purpose. It is not about losing weight. It is about being there for your family. Kaizen, you improved 1% per day. Water, food, movement, small changes that added up over time. HARA HACHI BU, you learned moderation. Eat until 80% full, not 120%. WABI-SABI, you accepted imperfection. You stumbled many times and always came back. Ganbaru, you persevered. On the tough days, you did not give up. You just did the bare minimum to keep momentum going. Takashi looked at the paper. Those 5 words explained his entire transformation. Doctor, can I keep this? You can, but I want you to understand one thing. This is not a weight loss system. This is a life system. You can apply this to anything you want to change. Your career, your relationships, your finances, anything at all. Chapter 6. The moment of truth in the 12th month. Takashi went for a routine blood test. He had not had one in years because he was afraid of what he would discover. The doctor at the health center walked in with the results, staring at the paper with a confused look on his face. Takashi, have you started some kind of new treatment? Why do you ask? Your cholesterol has dropped significantly. Your blood pressure is normal for the first time in years. Your blood sugar is really good. What are you doing? Takashi laughed. I am drinking water in the morning. The doctor did not get the joke, but Takashi did. because it had not happened because of the water. It had happened because of 365 days of making small, better choices. One glass of water does not change your cholesterol. But 365 glasses of water, plus 365 plates with half the food, plus 365 walks equals a completely different body. He went home that day, took off his shirt, and stood in front of the mirror. For the first time in 20 years, he looked at his own body without shame. He did not have defined abs. He still had loose skin in some places. He still had about 15 kilograms left to lose to reach his ideal weight. But you know what he saw? He saw a man who had kept a promise to himself every single day for an entire year. By the 18th month, Takashi had lost 52 kilograms. He weighed 90 kilograms. He was not the thinnest man in the world, but he was healthy, strong, present in his life. His daughter turned 9 years old. They had a party in the park. The children were running around playing tag, and for the first time, Takashi ran with them, laughing and sweating. One of the parents at the party asked, "Man, how did you lose all that weight?" Takashi thought about talking about Japanese philosophies, about Kaizen, Ikigai, HARA HACHI BU. But he decided not to complicate things. One step at a time, literally. That night after the party, he was lying in bed with his wife. She said softly, "Do you know what I love most about your transformation?" "What?" "It is not that you lost weight, it is that you came back, the man I married, the father our children deserve. You were here physically, but you were not really present, now you are." Takashi held her hand. "I almost gave up so many times. But you did not give up." "No, I did not." Chapter 7. The complete system 2 years after that first consultation. Takashi weighed 88 kilograms and had kept the weight off. He still drinks water every morning. He still walks every single day. He still eats until he is 80% satisfied, because that is simply who he is now. But here is the craziest part. He helps other people now. People from work see his transformation and ask, "How did you do that?" And you know what he tells them? "Let me ask you something first. What is the smallest change you can make today?" People always respond with something like, "Oh, I could start going to the gym." "No, smaller than that, much smaller." "Like what?" "Like drinking 1 glass of water in the morning." The person usually laughs, "That is all. That is all, for 2 weeks, then come back and we will talk again." 9 out of 10 people never come back to talk to him because they are still looking for the magic solution. The 21-day diet, the lightning-fast transformation, the miracle pill. But that 10th person, that person comes back in 2 weeks and says, "I drank water every day and you were right. I feel different." And Takashi knows immediately that this person gets it. This person is going to succeed. Dr. Yamamoto eventually retired. During their last consultation together, he told Takashi, "You know, you never really needed me, right?" "What do you mean?" "Everything I taught you was already inside you. I just gave you permission to go slowly, to be imperfect, to keep going, even when it was hard. But the strength was always yours. Doctor, I literally could not get up from a squatting position 2 years ago." "Physically, no. But mentally, you got up from a squatting position every single day of your life. Every day you woke up, went to work, supported your family, endured the exhaustion, the frustration, the shame. You always had GAMBARU. You just did not know you had it." That broke something open in Takashi's chest. "So all I needed was to know." "No, you needed a system that respected who you were. A system that did not demand you become a superhero overnight. A system that accepted your humanity, your imperfection, your exhaustion, and used all of that to build transformation, not work against it. The Japanese philosophies I taught you are not about being perfect. They are about being human and continuing to be human every day without stopping." Takashi hugged Dr. Yamamoto that day with overwhelming gratitude, because that man had not saved his life. He had given it back to him. Chapter 8. The Legacy. There is a photo on Takashi's living room wall. In it, he weighs 142 kilograms, sitting in a plastic chair in the backyard. watching his children play. Not participating, just watching. And right next to that photo, there is another one. In it, he weighs 88 kilograms, on the floor playing with building blocks with his son, his daughter jumping on his back, everyone laughing. His wife took that second photo without him knowing. When he saw it, he asked, "Why did you take that picture?" She replied, "Because this is the moment I have been waiting for 10 years, the moment you came back." But you know what the most important part of this entire story is? It is not that Takashi lost 52 kilograms. It is not that he reversed his type 2 diabetes. It is not that he got promoted at work. It is that his daughter, who is now 12 years old, recently told her friend at school, "My dad is the most disciplined person I know." She grew up watching him drink water every day, watching him walk every day, watching him stumble, fall, get back up, and keep going forward. She grew up seeing that transformation is not about motivation. It is about identity, and when she is 20, 30, 40 years old and life gets tough, she will remember. She will remember that her father proved that change is possible. One small choice at a time, one day at a time, forever. This is the real legacy, not the transformed body, but the living proof that you can become who you want to be. You just need the patience to build that person one small step at a time. The final message. Now let me ask you something. You have made it this far. That means you are looking for something. Maybe it is losing weight like Takashi. Maybe it is another addiction or bad habit. Maybe it is just the feeling that you are not living the life you should be living. You might be thinking, "This will not work for me. My situation is different, more difficult, more complicated." You are right. Your situation is different, but the system is the same. Because no matter what your challenge is, what your bad habit is, or what life you want to change, the problem is never a lack of information. You know you need to eat better. You know you need to exercise. You know you need to sleep more, drink less, be more present. You already know all of this. The problem is not knowing, it is doing, and you cannot do it because you are trying to do everything at once. You are trying to become a different person tomorrow. You are trying to win a 20-year war in a 21-day battle, and every time you try, you fail, and every time you fail, you prove to yourself that you cannot do it. And then it becomes your identity. I am someone who cannot do it. I am someone without discipline. I am weak, but you are not. You are just using the wrong system. The system I presented here is not about rapid change. It is about permanent change. You do not need 30 days of transformation. You need 30 years of consistency. And consistency only happens when it is simple enough to sustain through the bad days. So let me give you the same challenge that Dr. Yamamoto gave to Takashi. Choose one change, the smallest one possible. So small that you will feel ridiculous doing it. So small that it seems like it will not make any difference at all. 1 glass of water in the morning, 5 push-ups before bed, 1 minute of meditation, 1 page from a book, anything, but it has to be so small that you cannot use any excuse not to do it, and do this for 2 weeks. Do not try to add anything else. Do not try to speed things up. Just do this one small thing every single day for 14 days. And when you reach day 14, you will have proven something to yourself. Not that you can lose weight or quit smoking or change your life completely, but that you can keep a promise to yourself. And that proof is the only thing you really need. Because when you know you can keep a small promise, you know you can keep any promise. Then you add another small change, and then another, and then another. And before you know it, you are a different person. Not because you tried to change, but because you built a new identity, one microscopic choice at a time. Takashi took 2 years. Maybe it will take you 3 years. It does not matter because time is going to pass anyway. The question is, in 5 years, will you be in the same place, looking in the mirror with shame? Or will you be looking in the mirror at someone who kept every promise they made to themselves? Ikigai gives you purpose. Kaizen gives you the method. HARA HACHI BU gives you moderation. WABI-SABI gives you compassion for yourself. GAMBARU gives you strength to endure. You do not need all of them at once. You just need to start with one thing today. And when you stumble, because you will stumble, you do not give up. You just get back up. Because this practice is not about never falling. It is about always getting back up. If you have watched this far, thank you so much for your time and attention. This means you are truly committed to your transformation. Comment below what the smallest change is that you are going to make starting today. Do not tell me your complete transformation plan, just tell me the first thing, the smallest one, the one you are going to do tomorrow morning. You do not need to be perfect, you just need to start. Thank you for being here. See you in the next one.